The Chicago Cubs stave off elimination in Game 3, winning 4-3. An absolutely gut-wrenching, gritty team win. Hi, everybody. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. Welcome to today's edition of Cubs Daily. My name is Steven Ryan. Like I said, 4-3. The season is extended by at least another day. We'll talk about Game 4 later, maybe some potential strategy in that sense, but let's just hop right into it, right? This series is nuts, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what else to say regarding the Chicago Cubs team. It's the first team to score loses every game so far, right? The Cubs jumped out to a 1-0 leading game 1, a 3-0 leading game 2. The Brewers, which this 1-0 lead was just absolutely ridiculous. That non infield fly rule call. That Sun was just in such a perfect position again, thanks to that 4:08 start time. I don't know if I heard someone say I don't know if Michael Busch was yelling, so the umpires didn't think it was a routine play. But either way, the umps didn't call it. It led to the bases being loaded. Again, credit to Jameson Taillon for getting through that with only one run. I've said it not all season long, but these past few weeks before the postseason started, Jameson Taillon has been one of our better pitchers so far, right? If Cade Horton was healthy, he would be a part of my 1-2 combo for this team. I have a lot of faith right now in Jameson Taillon, and he did the thing again today, which you love to see. So great victory again for the Cubs. I knew it was going to be gritty. I think I said in the video yesterday it was going to be a tough win. Like, the Brewers were not going to go down without a fight. And again, we only scored 4 runs in the first inning, and it was enough this time, And honestly, later today, I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to get the victory. But yeah, again, thanks to Taillon, he did go 4. He did give up 2 earned runs, unfortunately. But that first inning, that should not have been an earned run. That needs to be they need to give an error to, like, the Cubs team. Maybe not a specific player because the ball dropped in cleanly, but they need to give an error to the team or something because that should have been caught. That was a very weird play. And Taillon should not have earned the earned run on that situation. But again, 5 hits spread across. He did give up 2 earned, gave him 4 innings, and then the bullpen did another fantastic job, right? Pomeranz came in, Danny Palencia. Kittredge did give up that home run. And again, these Brewers with Jake Bauer popping off for his best game of the series so far, just basically replacing Andrew Vaughn in the lineup and doing Andrew Vaughn things to us. So just cursed against these first basemen from the Milwaukee Brewers so far. Thielbar, big situation entering that 8th inning, right? The leadoff double by Churio. And, he came in, he struck out, I believe it was, let's see the lineup here real quick, just so I can remember the process. He struck out Terang pretty easily, dominated him in that matchup. And then, again, credit to what he did with William Contreras, right? Obviously, letting on base runners in the postseason is never a good feeling, but he didn't just lob one over the middle, because William Contreras has been killing us all series. He walked him, and then he was able to force that ground out with Sal Frelick. That's when they brought in Brad Keller. Weird situation with Brad Keller, man. 4 straight pitches for a walk. He then, threw another one, and then he was able to strike out the man himself, Bowers, to get out of the 8th, and then he shut the door in the 9th. But, man, just what a stressful victory. And again, you knew this was going to be a thing. This is how playoff baseball works. If you're a new Cub fan this season, if this is your first time watching the Chicago Cubs or a fan of baseball in general, postseason baseball is stressful, okay? It's not a pleasant experience. It's not for the weak, but it's an anxiety that I welcome into my life. I've missed this feeling, believe it or not. I miss the sweating. I miss the grit. And again, that's what I saw today from this team, right? I don't like that we're not being able to add on insurance runs. It's not easy, but maybe getting this win can get us over the hump and in a battle in game number 4, which is going to be later today. But again, round of applause to Jameson Taillon. 2 elimination games for us so far. He has gone 8 innings and has allowed 2 earned runs, which again, technically speaking, I would not count that first inning one because that was just a weird situation. And again, kudos to him for getting out of that with only 1 run given up. Really let the Cubs get a chance to get back in this ball game. Again, shout out to Michael Busch, right? First player in NLDS history to lead off a game with multiple, hit multiple home runs in the leadoff position. Michael Busch has been absolutely sensational this year, and I'm very excited he's going to be a Cub for the foreseeable future. But again, Taillon did the thing, man, and honestly, I wish we were going to have him for the next 2 games in a sense because we need guys like him to step up. Truly, Taillon has been magnificent. They showed a graphic during the game. The top 4 ERAs since August 18th. And, the first 2 are Yamamoto and Paul Skeens, which you naturally anticipate because they're both absolute beasts on the mound. But then the next 2 are Jameson Taillon and Cade Horton, who, if the Cubs can find a way to win this series, we might get him back just in the nick of time. That doesn't mean he's going to be great or anything, but that could be the boost this team needs to get them to the World Series. But again, we'll talk about that when the time arrives, right? And that could be later tonight, right? It's going to be a battle. And again, I hope this team brings the grit that it showed tonight. I'm hoping we can find a way to score more runs than 4 runs. We're going to need it. The Brewers are going to be 10th. They're going to be throwing, I believe they're going to be throwing Freddie Peralta. It's not confirmed yet. I think there's going to be some gamesmanship going into this game later on today because the start time is going to be at 8:08 Central because the Phillies won Game 3 in LA yesterday, 8-2. So I don't know if they're going to announce these starting pitchers until later on in the day. You don't want your opponent to have too much prep on them as well, but buckle your seatbelt, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be absolutely another battle here. The Cubs extend their season by another day, and I'm here for it, right? I'm dreaming of a Game 5 on Saturday because remember, just after Monday night, it was just a bit you couldn't have felt lower. The season felt over, right? Today, right? I'm entering today. The next episode of Cubs Daily could be a Game 5 preview, or it could be a memorial for the 2025 season. I don't know what to expect. It's the best feeling in all of sports fandom, in my opinion. I love playoff baseball. No matter how much stress and anxiety it brings my brain, I'm here for it. I'm here for the battling, and I'm just happy. Even if the Cubs lose later today, there's no moral victories. We didn't win the World Series. I 100% hear everybody on that. I'm just glad this team didn't pitter-patter out and just lie on the hill and die. That's more my concern. Kyle Tucker had a couple of hits as well as Horner. He's been doing his thing all series long. Seiya Suzuki, big double there. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get him across. But again, the top 4 hitters all had 4 hits. Ian Happ drew a walk. Pete Crow Armstrong, a massive hit to give us that 3-1 lead. So again, we are battling. It's what I want to see from this team. Can we do it again today, though? I'll say yes. The Cubs can beat the Brewers today. Will we? That's a great question. That comes down to the strategy that's going to be at place in this one. Who's going to start Game 4 for the Cubs? I've seen a lot of different hypotheticals going on. I just can't. Why is it not going to be Colin Ray? Colin Ray has been minimally used all these series. Now, last time again in July that they used Colin Ray, he got lit up. I've heard Matt Boyd is going to be on the table potentially. He's back on regular rest as well. If the wind is blowing in, that does favor Matt Boyd in this situation. So maybe a combination of Matt Boyd and Colin Ray. And again, it's do or die, right? We got to survive this game to even think about Game 5. And that's going to be a different strategy for a different session. But either way, hey, we're here. I ain't hear no bell. That's the common theme on Cubs Twitter today. I ain't hear no bell. Can we force a Game 5 in Milwaukee? Absolutely. Will we? That's a great question. But you guys know, it's go Cubs go till the end. And I think the Cubs are going to battle back and make this a series. And again, it is a series, right? The Brewers don't want to do any more than they have to. They know the tough task ahead, not to beat the Cubs, but to defeat the Los Angeles Dodgers, to defeat the Philadelphia Phillies if they come back. They know the optics of these series, right? Small market, big market, they spend money, blah 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 blah. But right now, the Cubs, we battle again for another day. Let's run this exact same lineup out there. Let's jump on them early again. Maybe give them a lead if that's really how the series is going to work. I don't think that's going to remain consistent because in baseball, that's just not how the game goes, ladies and gentlemen. So, again, I'm here for it. I'm here for the anxiety. I'm curious to see who they use to start the game. Again, Matt Boyd on regular rest. I do like Matt Boyd more at Wrigley than I do in Milwaukee. But again, us going to Milwaukee for a Game 5, that's a different preview. That's for a different situation. I'm curious to see what, I've heard Ben Brown to be thrown out there as an option. I don't personally like it because what we've seen from him in the regular season, but as a note of defense for Ben Brown, he gets swings and misses. He gets strikeouts. Yeah, sometimes he gets lit up, but he strikes people out, which that stuff plays in the postseason, ladies and gentlemen. You have to remember that. Big, we need swing and miss type stuff, right? And so if we're going up against Freddie Peralta, there's some good numbers that favor the Cubs in this situation, believe it or not. His whip is a little bit higher on 4 days rest than normal rest. His ERA is risen a little bit more on 4 days rest compared to regular rest, right? So I think it's like he has a .92 whip if he has normal 5-day rest, and then he has like a 1.39 whip if he's only on 4 days. But again, these are just numbers. They don't mean anything. They have to go in between the lines and play the game. And you know what? The Cubs have seen him this series. That benefits the batters, believe it or not. He's a really tough hitter, tough pitcher, don't get me wrong. But, remember in 2016, we saw Corey Kluber for 3 times. And the third time, we were able to get to him. So hopefully we can jump on him early again, maintain a lead, this bullpen can do another magnificent job, and we could force Game 5 in Milwaukee. That's what we're here to do, and I'm all here for it. So that game's going to start at 8:08 Central Time tomorrow. It's going to be another late one. Postseason baseball is not for the weak, ladies and gentlemen. So if you got to get up early for your job, get your coffee ready because it's going to be a good one, hopefully. I do have an inkling suspicion that I think this game might be a blowout. Now, blowout for the Cubs or for the Brewers? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it's going to play out, but either way, I'm happy the Cubs got one for the faithful today. It was a good victory, a good gritty victory. Now, let's go see if we can go score 5 or 6 runs and maybe hold them to less than 1 or to less than 3 and get this back to Milwaukee. That's going to do it for today's edition of Cubs Daily. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. Go Cubs, go.